Welcome, future leaders and managers, to a foundational masterclass designed to equip you with one of the most critical skills in modern business, sales forecasting. Imagine you are the captain of a large, sophisticated ship. Your destination is profitability and market leadership. To navigate the vast, often turbulent waters of the global economy, you need more than just a map. You need a reliable navigation system that tells you where you are headed, what weather to expect, and how much fuel you will need for the journey. In the world of business, sales forecasting is that indispensable navigation system. It is the process that converts strategic ambition into a tangible, actionable roadmap. It is not merely about guessing numbers. It is about making informed, intelligent predictions about future sales. That will steer every major decision your organization makes, from the factory floor to the boardroom. For any aspiring manager, regardless of your specific functional area, be it marketing, finance, operations, or human resources, a deep understanding of sales forecasting is not just beneficial, it is absolutely essential. Consider this. Nearly every strategic and operational plan you will ever create or execute will be built upon a foundational assumption about future revenue. This assumption is the sales forecast. If that foundation is weak or inaccurate, the entire structure of your planning becomes unstable. Mastering forecasting means you are not just a passive recipient of these numbers, but an active participant in shaping the company's future. As a marketing manager, the sales forecast will determine the budget you are allocated for campaigns and promotions. As an operations manager, the forecast is your blueprint for production planning, supply chain logistics, and inventory control. For a finance manager, the forecast is the single most important input for cash flow management, budgeting, and financial planning. The quest to predict the future is as old as commerce itself. In ancient times, merchants might have relied on intuition, superstition, or the changing of the seasons. This was forecasting in its most rudimentary form, a blend of experience and hope, more akin to gazing into a crystal ball than to a structured business process. For centuries, this reliance on gut feeling and personal judgment dominated business decision-making. The 20th century ushered in a more systematic approach to prediction, marking the first major evolution in sales forecasting. Techniques like moving averages and time series analysis emerged, allowing managers to look at past sales data to project future trends. The advent of the computer age, and particularly the personal computer, catalyzed the next great transformation. Today, we are in the midst of the most profound evolution yet, driven by the explosion of big data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Modern forecasting systems can process not only a company's internal sales history, but also a torrent of external data, including social media trends, competitor pricing, weather patterns, economic reports, and even satellite imagery. To ensure you leave this session with a comprehensive and actionable understanding of sales forecasting, we have structured this masterclass as a logical journey, starting with the fundamentals and progressively building towards more advanced concepts and practical applications. Our goal is to equip you not just with theoretical knowledge, but with a practical framework that you can apply directly in your future managerial roles. We will meticulously break down the different methods of sales forecasting, categorizing them into qualitative and quantitative approaches. Crucially, we will discuss the specific scenarios where each method is most effective, using real-world case studies with a special focus on the dynamic Indian market. Building on this, we will then walk through the end-to-end process of creating a robust forecast. This is where the theory meets practice. At its very heart, the entire discipline of sales forecasting revolves around answering one deceptively simple question: how much will we sell? This question is, honestly, the starting point for all business planning, the fundamental query that every organization, from a local bakery to a multinational conglomerate, must address to survive and thrive. But answering it is anything but simple. The answer is not a single static number pulled from thin air. Instead, it is a carefully constructed estimate, a projection that must account for a specific product or service, a defined customer group, a particular geographic market, and a precise future time period. This means a forecast is not a passive prediction of an unchangeable future. Instead, It is inextricably linked to the company's own actions and its assumptions about the external environment. The sales forecast is not just another metric on a manager's dashboard. It is, in fact, the epicenter of business planning, the single number that creates a powerful ripple effect, touching virtually every function and every decision within an organization. Think of it, if you will, as the first domino in a long and intricate chain. Once that first domino, the sales forecast, is pushed, it sets in motion a cascade of actions and resource allocations across the entire company. The first and most immediate impact is on the production and operations department. The forecast directly tells the production manager how many units of a product need to be manufactured. An overly optimistic forecast leads to overproduction, tying up working capital in unsold goods, increasing warehousing costs, and risking product obsolescence. For the chief financial officer, the sales forecast is the bedrock of the entire corporate budget. It forms the basis for revenue projections, which are then used to plan for profits, manage cash flow, and make critical investment decisions. Finally, the ripple reaches the strategic apex of the organization, influencing top-level decision-making. Executive leaders use long-range sales forecasts to inform their most critical strategic choices. To truly appreciate the critical importance of accurate sales forecasting, let us consider a tale of two hypothetical companies operating in the same industry. Let's call them Agile Auto and Bumble Bikes. Both companies manufacture electric bicycles, a market known for its seasonal peaks and sensitivity to fuel prices. Agile Auto invests heavily in a sophisticated forecasting system. They blend quantitative time series models with qualitative inputs from their regional sales managers and even use machine learning to analyze social media trends and weather data. Their forecasting process is a collaborative monthly cycle involving sales, marketing, and operations, ensuring everyone is aligned with a single data-driven vision of future demand. Bumble Bikes, in contrast, takes a more rudimentary approach. Their forecast is little more than the sales director's gut feeling, often influenced by short-term optimism or pressure from the CEO to hit an arbitrary growth target. They might simply take last year's sales and add 10%, without rigorously analyzing changing market dynamics, competitive actions, or economic indicators. As the peak spring season approaches, the consequences of these different approaches become starkly clear. Agile Auto, having accurately forecasted a 30% surge in demand due to rising fuel prices and a new green commuting trend, had already ramped up production weeks in advance. When the wave of customers arrived, Agile Auto was ready. Their shelves were stocked, their sales team was prepared, and they successfully captured the market share, delighting customers and exceeding their revenue goals. Meanwhile, Bumble Bikes was caught completely flat-footed. Their simplistic forecast failed to anticipate the demand surge. Their factory was unprepared, leading to production bottlenecks and frantic, expensive overtime. Their stores quickly sold out of popular models, leading to widespread stockouts and long waiting lists. Frustrated customers turned to competitors, many of them to Agile Auto. As we conclude this introduction, it should be clear that sales forecasting is far more than a simple numerical exercise. It is a core managerial competency that sits at the intersection of strategy, analytics, and market intuition. It is both a rigorous science, demanding a disciplined approach to data and modeling, and a subtle art, requiring judgment, experience, and the ability to read the faint signals of a changing marketplace. Your journey to mastering this discipline begins now. The purpose of this masterclass is to guide you on this journey, to provide you with the foundational knowledge and practical tools you will need to become not just a consumer of forecasts, but a skilled and critical contributor to the forecasting process. Throughout the upcoming sections, we will arm you with the ability to navigate the complexities of this field. We will move from the what and why to the how. You will learn to distinguish between different forecasting methods and, more importantly, to understand which tool is right for which job. Remember that the goal of a good forecast is not to be perfectly correct. Predicting the future with 100% certainty is impossible. Instead, the goal is to be progressively less wrong. It is about reducing uncertainty, minimizing error, and providing a solid, rational basis for decision-making. Excellence in forecasting comes from a commitment to continuous improvement, a cycle of forecasting, measuring the results, analyzing the errors, and refining the model. This iterative process of learning and adaptation is what separates great forecasting teams from mediocre ones. As a future manager, embracing this philosophy of continuous learning will be key to your success. So prepare to engage, to question, and to apply what you learn. This masterclass is your starting point for building a skill set that will prove invaluable throughout your career. By embracing both the art and the science of sales forecasting, you will be better equipped to manage resources, motivate teams, and steer your organization towards its goals with confidence and clarity. You will be able to replace ambiguity with insight, guesswork with informed judgment, and reaction with proactive strategy. The journey to becoming a foresight-driven leader begins with this first crucial step. Let us proceed to uncover the essential definitions and frameworks that will form the bedrock of your forecasting expertise.